Hello everyone, Don here again with the next update on the W.A.R.Corsair project. Alright, so this past week I managed to finish sanding out the flaps. Remember I had like 4 pieces left to do. I think it was these 4 on the end. So they're all sanded out, and as you can see I got a what I had left of my epoxy primer sprayed out. They're finished on both sides, but I did have to put it on fairly thin. So what I want to do is find some more, I don't know what they call it, 2K primer, something that's heavy build, sandable primer. I really don't want to order any more of this stuff. It's got a good epoxy coat for the base, and it still has some, light scratching shining through. I still need to, I'll have to go over it with some real light paper just to knock off the little bit of fuzz and that from just shooting them quick. So, but I got them all painted on both sides. So then after this, like I say, I'll give it a light sanding, find some more primer, give it another coat, and then hopefully next weekend we'll get some color on these things. Okay, and then my other thing I had to do was work on the muffler. I went ahead and made up a pattern, cut up a bunch of pieces and parts, and this is where I'm at. I just kind of stuffed it up in there in place. A little hard to see, but that's the basic muffler. Kind of set in there. Let's get around here, might see a little better. Like so, it'll set back in there like that. And then there's a cover plates that I still have to cut to close this off. It'll have a hole in it for the tube to pass through. Here, just like it is here. And then this will have a hole, 1.5-inch hole right here, so this little short stacks will basically come straight at the end like that. So that'll pass through on the inside a little bit, and when it's up in place it'll come out through there, and I'll scalp the end on it to kind of give it a little better match. Again, I got some of that high temp insulation put in there, and some stainless steel. I still have pieces left over. But this one turned out really nice. I made it a triangle shape, as you can see. So it fits up in there by the motor mount much better. It's kind of meant to be, it's touching my drain tube back here. So I might have to do something with that. And this is still just kind of loose. But that's where I'm at. It took quite a bit to get all this prepped and painted today. Like I say, I'm completely out of the epoxy hard primer. So there's the light blue. Still got plenty of that left. It's that chromate green, which I don't need any more of that. Insignia blue to finish the insignias on the wings. Insignia white, same thing. That actually has to be used to paint the bottoms of most of these pieces. And then there's the new can of non-specular, the dark blue, and the insignia red. And then this is the catalyst, the new catalyst. So there should be, irrespective zinc, should be one more insignia blue. There it is. Insignia blue, non-specular blue, intermediate blue. Alright, that's everything. But that's all I got left. This is the new can, whole quart, so that gets used with everything. I do have a little bit of catalyst left there I'll use up first. But that's about it for this week. What I did do to make the holes in the stainless steel is I made this little punch-out kit. I couldn't find anybody locally that had an 1.5-inch punch set. So I had some scrap steel, cut this down so it was 1.5 inches. You can see I kind of put a little bevel lip on the inside edge of this. To kind of give it a little bit of a knife edge. I was going to kind of V-cut it. I was like, I didn't have any real good way of doing it. I said, let me just try this. And that's the mate to it. All you do is drill a 1/4-inch hole in the piece so that bolt fits in there, and then when it punches out, this is what you end up with. Worked real good. I only had to do 6 2 holes in each plate. There's 3 baffles in that muffler. And then I got to do the end plates, which I need to punch in 2 more holes in the end covers. And then that'll all be welded on there. And then I just got to put the holes through there and weld the pipe in there. I got a welded seam here on the top. I'll put the oxygen sensor back here somewhere in the center, so it kind of fits down inside here. It'll be coming up in through here, straight down. This is the actual sensor here. So I'll probably get a new one. That one's old. Hasn't set in a long time. I'll weld a bung on there, and then this will get some type of mount to hold it in place. But that should clear just fine once it's in there. Once it's turned up into place and centered. Right now it's off center. It should fit the cowling just fine. So, and I have started it up a few times since then. Still seems to run fine. No problem starting. So once this muffler's finished, and once I get all those in paint, get them fitted, and the last hurdle is the canopy. So that's where I'm at this weekend, folks. And there it is, doing nothing. But it was quite a chore just to do all that stainless. I use a 10-inch metal cutting chop saw blade basically for, let's turn this down. It's a 10-inch metal cutting blade I use on a table saw, and that's the remnants of it. Puts out a lot of dust. Alright, come on, let's get some focus going here. There we go. So, actually the only thing left to do now is to get the insignias painted on those wings. They'll be ready to fit. I need to get some aluminum to make the covers for their landing gear covers and the frame. The place I bought the stainless from, I bought it was like 2 foot by 2.5 foot. It was 0.25, 22 gauge. Got it for 23 bucks as a drop. That was surprisingly cheap. I was really expecting to pay like 50 bucks for a piece of stainless. So they have all kinds of 60, 61 drops up there too. So I'm going to head back up there, and I'm probably going to need 2x4 foot piece. These covers that go on here, I would say they're probably 5 inches wide, about 3 foot long. Need 2 of those. I need enough to do the front of the landing gear, which they're probably 6 to 8 inches wide, 10 inches tall, maybe a little smaller, and then I'm going to make an aluminum frame go around the windshield. The bubble canopy, I may end up glassing that like the original windshield was done to get that in place. So, and then I just need to get a cap on here. What I might be able to do is make a cap and use a piece of rubber hose, make a little stub fitting here to clamp on a piece of hose and bring it up around. It just has to be, and I could probably attach it right to this. So when I make the door, open it up, you know, I'll have something in here. But right now this thing won't work no matter what I do with it. But I can try and do something. But right now I know it's going to have oil in it when I start. I can just literally make a cap and plug this. And then I can always check the oil. But I got to cut the holes in that. And I may or may not do that before I go testing it because this thing is not going to use up any oil. I can do a check on that when I do a pre-flight check and pull the cowl and check everything over and then see what the oil looks like. But eventually I'll get to that. Right now I just want to get this thing done. That's why I'm not going to be too awful picky on little imperfections in these pieces here. I just want to get the damn thing done flying. So I guess that's going to be it for this week, guys. Things all nice and dusty. I had this whole airplane pulled over to the side. You can see there's a lot of dust on there, but hopefully there was enough dust on there before I painted, so it's not going to stick to the plane, which I don't think it will. There's plenty of dust on that airplane before I painted. And I did all the painting literally right here, right on the end of this board, as you can see where the most of the paint is. So it was pulled out a little farther, and I just shot them right here. The tail of the plane was clear over by the cabinets. So, and most of the stuff was outside. So, and then with these, I have to come in and clean out these holes. That's where the push rod's got to attach. Every one of these will get them. These ones are here, here. Those are more towards the center. Those are on the ends, and then those on the ends have to have a hole drilled through so you can stick a bolt in there. Same way with these ones. You'll be able to stick the bolts in. The hinges, no problem with hooking them up. So, like I said, those 4 get underside white, insignia white. Those 2 are light blue. Those 2 are light blue. That's light blue both sides. This is all white. And then everything on the top except the rudder gets the dark blue. And that's all there is to those. There's nothing else. It'll all go on. They can all go on and work just as they are. I may eventually look into trying to balance these, but if it's going to take too much weight, I just may not do it. They'll still work where they are. They'll just be a little heavy on the controls. So, what am I thinking? Oh, the end number. I'm going to see if it'll be legal to put the end number back here, low, out of sight. And then on the flaps, of course, I'll put no step. The outboard ones don't really need it. When I go to get into the plane, the flaps will be on the fully extended position. You know, they'll be down into here, 30 degrees. Give you a little bit more room for getting in and out of this thing. You're literally almost going to need a step ladder to get in this thing. Because I can't step on the back of the wing, I'll have to put some... up here is the rear spars passing through here, and there's foam on it, so I can put some anti-skid on here and step up on it. You know, right now it's a high step because the tail's in the air. So I still got the gear doors to tinker with, and that's pretty much, I mean, pretty much all there is left to do to this thing. Not a whole lot to do. So I don't think there was anything else to report on, other than I was really hoping, you know, like last week, get these things in primer and at least tried to start painting on them, but because I had to do the sanding and such, and then I started tinkering with the muffler this week. So I still need to make the trim tab for that as well. And little doors for that, finished tail cone. So, little by little. Alright folks, that's going to do it for this week's update. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns. I'll answer them as they come through. I was glad to see I got quite a few posts last week, mostly because of the engine noise. But we'll keep plugging away at this, try to get this thing done before the snow flies. I mean, it's getting close, but I'll give it my best, folks. Alright, again, appreciate everyone taking time to watch my videos, and we'll be back at her next week. Alright, this is Dino Don out.